right, what's up, y'all? Welcome to the
Hey.
first episode of the Read and Wine podcast. Woo!
Hey.
Right, we are reading a book called The Nickel Boys, and it is by Colson Whitehead. I'm Keiyana.
I'm Cece.
I'm Jaz.
And I'm Tiffany.
All right, y'all. Let's get started. It's our first episode. Let's get started.
Let's go.
All right, chapter 1. Let's talk about it. Let's discuss.
Uh-huh.
Right, who wants to start off?
We can start off by talking about the main character.
Okay, well, I was about to say that, but I didn't know if anybody wanted to actually start off the chapter,
Chapter 1. We can
Right,
talk about the main.
Okay.
Elwood.
Yeah.
All right, so chapter 1, we're introduced to our main character, Mr. Elwood Curtis. Yes, Elwood Curtis.
Yes.
This is all set in 1966, so a lot of segregation, racism. That's the era that we're in. Y'all want to join in?
His
It's
background
pretty much-
story. Go ahead, Miss
Go ahead.
Cece.
It's his background, and he basically starts it off about what he got for Christmas. It was the best Christmas gift he ever received from his grandmother, who he lives with. He does not live with his parents. Granny, and she bought him a Christmas gift, which happened to be a Martin Luther King album of his speech. It was a speech of Martin Luther King's. And was it the one in Selma, or was it that for I Have a Dream? That's what I don't remember. I don't think it was I Have a Dream. It was, I think, the one he did in Selma.
I don't remember which one it was.
It's a speech he did in Detroit, Charlotte, and Montgomery. It does not say which one.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so that's pretty much how that goes. But it was his favorite speech. I mean, that's like, he didn't want toys like most kids. Like, most kids would get gifts and be like, I want a bike or a toy. That's not what he wanted. He was the type of kid that wanted, that was the best gift he could ever get, was that album of Martin Luther King speaking, especially with everything that was going on during this time. That's just pretty much how it opens up, explaining pretty much who he was at the time.
Right.
Yeah, when I was looking at it and reading it, and Elwood just kind of came off to me as like a little scrawny, little nerdy kid, kind of just the 1960s going through life, and I was just like, all right, little innocent black boy. I will say, in this first chapter, he got played, y'all. Like, I don't know if we're moving ahead with them encyclopedias. Like, I can't, if anybody want to say something for that part. But he got played. He got played.
He did get played. But I want to say it doesn't really go into detail as to why they just disliked him, if that makes sense.
Right.
They didn't, but it was kind of obvious to me why they didn't, because they knew he wasn't a regular kid. They knew he was special. They knew he was very smart, and they felt like he was better than everyone else because he was so smart. So to try to make him feel bad for being who he is, they pulled that prank on him. And he was upset, but he still was happy because he still had one full book. Out of all the books, only one of them was a full encyclopedia book. The rest of them were all blank pages. So he at least had that, and he was proud of it, to the point that he still put it up in his grandma's house, all organized, like all of them were there, but they weren't.
Right.
So they tried to, at the end of the day, it didn't change who he was, and he was so proud that he had that one book he could read and go through.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Miss Cece, because I did not catch that. I just was like, these some haters, and for what? He's a child.
That's what I'm saying.
Y'all
He's a child.
Yeah.
And like, he just trying to go to work with his granny. Wasn't that at the hotel?
Yeah, that was another thing. He wasn't even a worker.
Right.
No.
Like I said, he was just trying to go with his granny. I guess in that first chapter, he was kind of like a sucker for knowledge. Like, he really wanted those encyclopedias. And it's just like, I don't know. I just felt like he got played. Like, I wrote that down. I was like, got played.
That's also like, we get to see exactly who he is, though. Like, he's not he is different, and this is the kind of person he is, and he wants the knowledge, and he wants to do better, and he doesn't care what anybody else is talking about. Yeah, he feels a little bit bad about it, but he's still gonna go and do what makes him happy, what he wants to do. So
right.
And even on top of that, the guy that he worked for was a white man, but this white man was one of the only places out of all the other stores that white men owned. This particular owner liked his grandmother, and she had been working with them for years and years, so he kind of had an attachment to Elwood to the point that he was smart. He knew he was special, and that's why he treated him the way that he treated him. But at the same time, white people could go in this store too, and he was still looked at as another little black kid when white people came in that weren't as friendly, you know, with us during that time. But when the doors were closed, this white man to him and try to remind him that he was special and he was smart, even though he knew that he couldn't make that known verbally to everybody because that's just not a good idea back then. But it was nice. It was nice to know that the owner still looked at him as another person and not just a it like everybody else did. But at the same time, he was only cool with Elwood because he liked his grandmother and they had a good relationship because she used to work for him. So it makes me wonder, would you still accept him if his grandmother never worked for you? If he was just another smart black kid that worked there, would he still be that nice to him, or would he look at him just like the other racist white people did as nothing? That's what bothered me about that. Like, are you just nice to him because his grandmama worked for you too before him? Or you were nice because you want to be?
I think so. I don't think he would treat him as nice if he didn't know somebody that was close to him and he didn't have any idea who this guy was. But at the same time, I feel like we're like that today as well. Like, especially when you start talking about people that are friends with people and they're like, well, oh yeah, this person is cool. And then so you're just like, oh, okay, well, this is a cool person. But if not, you'd be like, I don't know about you. So I feel like we kind of do the same thing today.
I mean, too. I'm like that anyway. I'd be like, okay.
This is true. I guess my dilemma with that is, would he be that nice to him in front of other white people? Or would he succumb to them and agree with them just to save pride?
Well, I mean, it's a good point, actually. But I mean, I guess because back in that time, of course, there was the racism, the separation. Of course, all white people was just had a hatred towards black people. But then I feel like there were also some white people that really was disgusted with what was going on. So I'm kind of like you. Maybe like you like to think that maybe he was just one of those white people that was just real cool. Like, okay, I'm not going to treat you any differently because of your skin color. And then you kind of think, okay, well, his grandma is cool. I love the grandma. I work with the grandma. She's faithful, loyal, whatever you want to call it, a good employee. So I'm going to automatically treat you with respect, or treat you with the likeness because of your because of your grandma. And I mean, people do that nowadays. It's like you don't have to know someone, but if you know who that person is associated with, they'll be like, okay, well, I know her. Like, I know her grandmother, or I know her daughter. She's cool. No, it's a good family. I'm gonna be nice to them because I know who this person who I talk to is okay. But I mean, that's a good point, Cece.
Yeah,
that's a really good point. I mean, like you say, with the time frame, it's kind of suspect. Like, you probably just being nice to me because of my grandma. But it's a good point.
Yeah.
All right, Cece, come through with the note.
So that was when he started working at the comic book store? Is that what it was?
I think
because he said he liked comics. He was into comics.
The store was inside the hotel.
Right.
I missed that part.
Yeah, I was thinking about chapter 2 when he was working at the store.
Yeah.
But
it's already in the store at the end of chapter 1.
So, all right, y'all ready for? Y'all ready for chapter 2?
Yeah.
Sorry, y'all, my brother decided to walk in.
Yeah, that's fine.
Hey, Tiffany. Hey, Cece. Hey.
What's up?
Hey.
Bye, brother.
It's like, get out.
Then he took a sip.
I saw your glass disappear and then reappear.
You saw that, huh? The glass just floated. Like,
It's in, I was just going to say, in chapter 2, we figure out what happened to his parents. They left him.
Yes.
And it's interesting that he has this dynamic of like his parents left him, but yet he still doesn't seem like he's hopeless. Like he's hopeful for things instead of like, man, forget the world, forget everybody, and all these things.
Right.
So I thought that was interesting because he still has like a hopeful mentality about things instead of being upset or whatever.
Right.
Also, I wanted to mention something. Another part in the book where the way that he won the encyclopedia books, the way they set it up, they knew he was going to win that competition of the who could bust more plates the fastest, because Elwood had a reputation of being the best at that, and all the staff knew it. So it's not like they even tried to let him win. They knew he was going to win. And that's why they were like, well, if you win, then you can have all these encyclopedias, and you can have them all, because they knew that was just blow his mind if he had his own encyclopedia. Because it wasn't known for Black people to have a whole collection of encyclopedias. That was a big deal, especially for a kid that was into his studies and his mind. And they knew he was going to win. Right. And that's why they made that competition, so he would win them. And then so they could see his when he opened them and saw that the rest of them were blank pages.
That's why I say I feel like he got played. Like you said, they set him up. They knew.
Like they was wrong for that. They didn't stay that long.
Girl, if I say poor Elwood got played, I'm just like.
I kind of also felt like they did that so that he could do the work.
Yeah, I feel that. They're like, oh look, thanks for doing that for us.
That too.
That is good. That's a good thought, Jess.
Yeah.
Like, oh, since you want to work, here you go. Work for these encyclopedias. But that's so messed up.
It's messed up, but I mean, people are mean like that.
That's true.
But what messed up about it is he's a grown man. He's the only kid. He's a grown man. How my mama would say, grown A man.
Right.
And y'all doing really? This little boy?
They're childish.
Ridiculous.
They're childish. They're looking at it like, we're going to teach you a lesson.
We're going to teach you a lesson for being smart.
It makes no sense. It's like, why don't you go get smart? How about that?
Like you said, they probably mad. They probably was hating because he was so smart at a young age. And they like, well, dang, this dude's smart. Okay, I'm outsmart him. Which, I guess in a sense, he had the street smarts and he was more the book smart. So, I mean, he got. It's like he got played. Like, just like, Elwood.
And then on top of that, if you notice in the book also said none of them could even read. He was the only one in there that could read. So even if he didn't win, what was they going to do with him? Prop some cups on top of him, put plates on him?
Well, they did mention that the other guy that was going against him, he said something about how this could be something he could trade in for money or something like that. I think that's what they mentioned. So he was trying to play the act of, oh, let me try to win this so that I can get money for it later.
But then
even though he had no intention of doing that.
Right. But then, like you said, what if it would have switched and Elwood would have lost? He would have been trying to get money for some encyclopedias for nothing. It's just like, well,
who was he going to sell them to? Because back then, most African Americans couldn't read. So unless you're going to walk up to a random white man and risk getting beat, who are you going to sell them to?
Okay.
I don't know, child. I don't know. It just seems, the whole thing is just dumb. I don't understand why you would do this and think like, oh, you get a whole laugh out of it. Did you really win anything? Like, like you didn't get anything out of this. What was the point? You could have been working this whole time. I don't understand it.
Okay. Working. All right, y'all. So chapter 2. Whew. After 2, we found out he started working for, what's his name, Mr. Marconi. And how did y'all like that dynamic of him and Mr. Marconi?
I liked it. I think that I guess to me it kind of reminds me of any time you find a chill, laid back employment. I mean, I kind of felt like Elwood in that perspective, he kind of had it made. And even though Mr. McConaughey, to me, it just seemed like he wasn't expecting a lot. And in certain situations, Elwood took it upon himself, to set the standard of, yo, you're not about to come in here and do this. Like, I think it was just some friends from the neighborhood or whatever that was trying to steal, and he was like, like, I thought that was pretty decent.
That was my next point. I put that he got jumped because they beat him up because he went back.
Not even that. The guy that he worked for before, Mr. Parker, he said that he wasn't the only one who saw Elwood as a worthy employee. That their other white men were always extending an invitation to him when they would come in there, offering him to work for them because they said that he was different than the other colored boys, is what they would always say. Like they saw he was different and smart, but he would always say no until Mr. McConaughey came in, and then for some reason he was different.
Right. But yeah, I think in this chapter we got more of a description of Elwood. I wrote down that he was skinny and wore glasses, so he kind of mold of being like a skinny little nerdy kid, just like dumb smart for. I guess I ain't gonna say no reason, but just dumb smart.
And he would do good.
Right.
Yeah.
I said, poor Elwood, just trying to do good.
Had dignity and self-respect.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He was, I guess, what you would say, beating the stereotype of what the whites had for most colors.
That's true.
Yep.
And then I think it's kind of crazy how, like you mentioned, that him being like, just kind of skinny, smart, nerdy type. It's like, wouldn't you think the white man would be trying to eliminate those kind of kids, because he was skinny? I mean, not skinny, because he was like really smart.
And they fit that mold of
he fit
smart
that
person.
Right. They always had a problem with us being, smart and taking over, educated. So it's kind of like you had white guys, admiring his work ethic, and then admiring the fact that he was smart. It's kind of like, well, what made Elwood different than any other smart black kid? Why was, about that dynamic was kind of interesting. It's like,
They did mention that like the neighborhood was small and like pretty much everybody knew each other. Yeah. So maybe it's this guy seeing him grow up and then also having that relationship with his mother. I think he had the relationship with his grandmother, right?
Yeah.
So maybe he just like seeing that and like, you know what, like he's trying to be somebody and I want to help that maybe right. Just felt compassion just because that's who he is. He just wanted to feel compassion for Elwood.
Right.
Yeah. That's a nice thought, too.
Yep.
Yeah. I'm gonna take a sip of wine on that note. Go ahead. All right, y'all ready for chapter 3? I got any final thoughts for chapter 2?
It's in chapter 3 where he he does the march.
Yes.
At the theater.
The sit-ins and all of that.
Right.
Yes.
I'll be honest, I didn't take notes on that, so I may not say much, but carry on.
I just think that it further defines Elwood's character. He's starting to recognize, things that he want to take a stand on. Just, I guess, growing into himself, getting to know himself, and knowing that, you got a purpose in life, and no matter the obstacles, you must, fulfill that purpose.
Right.
And so I guess it sets up the story for further down the line, like how much are you willing to fight for yourself, your self-respect,
Yeah, I put that. Yeah. I wrote that down. I put that. I'm sorry, Cece, I didn't even cut you off.
No, you're right.
Yeah, I put that, maybe we starting to see him become into like a more activist type role. Like I said, I know we only read chapter 4, so, but I just feel like this was like the beginning of seeing him as like a possible activist or something, because he was just saying how he felt like he was at home, he was amongst people he knew, and it was just like, this whole world kind of opened up to him, and it was just like, oh, maybe he's trying to be an activist, or maybe this may be a road that he may go down, for his leadership, or like another Martin Luther King or something. Like, he was just so awoken by that march and him taking a stand for something. I guess because after 2, he got beat up. So I guess chapter 3, he was like, all right, I'm taking a stand. So maybe that had something to play in. But I thought that was interesting how he made it seem like he was at home, or it felt normal, kind of just stand up and I don't know. Okay, Elwood.
Yeah. Also, I saw, I don't know if this is dabbling into chapter 4, but I think this is still chapter 3.
Mm-hmm.
When, for one, he first sees a girl
mm-hmm.
that he liked, and that they started talking and doing the sit-ins together, kind of,
mm-hmm.
that he thought was cute. I think he knew her from childhood, but they never really talked.
Right.
So he started doing protesting.
Mm-hmm.
This little chick he was fond of a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
And then also, he saw some of the white boys that would come into the store that he was okay with. Now he's seeing these same white kids on the other side,
right,
standing against them, and with the white people with the dogs, and they were on the opposite side of what he was on, and they were yelling at him, and it kind of just shocked him. Like, I know him. Like, why is he, like, he knew that, okay, I know he's a white boy, but I guess he didn't see them being on that side because they were always okay. Whenever he was in the store, it wasn't any issue. But now that they're protesting, he sees these same white kids he thought he had a decent relationship with on the opposite side, saying horrible things and calling them the N-word and all of that. So that was a big eye-opener for him as well, because he thought he knew someone and he really didn't know who they really were.
Right. In a sense, he got played. I mean, it's just,
again,
he got played almost again. Like you say, like, you've been going with these white kids and seeing the white kids, and all of a sudden you see them on the other side. You're like, well, hold up. I thought you liked me, or I thought you liked my kind. Like, that's kind of like in today how you see some people. I know for me, I've seen some of my white friends or white people who I'm friends with on Facebook. They'll be like saying supportive stuff to Donald Trump, and I'm like,
yeah.
I thought y'all like not on my side, but I thought y'all knew better. Like,
that's why I don't be friending co-workers on Facebook.
Well, I mean,
I realize with that, like, I have a couple of white friends that are Trump supporters, but when it comes to me, they're different.
Right.
I don't see that different side of them when I'm with them, or how I knew them before, or how I know them now. And I just made the rule that when it comes to politics, I would never discuss politics with these certain friends, ever. Everyone has a right to believe and support who they want to believe. And who am I to say, oh, I can't be friends with you because you voted for Trump? Because in my mind, that's who you are, and to me, you're a good person. That's like them saying the same thing about me because I voted for Obama.
Right.
That's judging. So I don't judge by their political views or their political beliefs, because that's what they believe. As long as you treat me with respect and don't come at me the wrong way, you're good.
Right.
I got no issue. Say the sweet, loving person that I've been knowing.
Right.
We ain't got no problem. She believe I believe what I believe, and we can respect these differences and move on. But I won't discuss it with them. That's not a conversation we will ever have.
Oh,
right.
No.
So it's just going to be an argument. So it's like
right. Nothing good's ever gonna come out of that.
Nah. And like you say, I would rather not discuss that, with them. But it's just so funny how, like, some of them I used to work with, and I'm saying they're not cool people, but it's just like, all of a sudden, like, you didn't hear them speak about politics, and all of a sudden they for Donald Trump. It's like, what? Like, it's just like like a shock. Like,
but what's crazy is they always had. They just never said anything.
Yeah, never said anything. And then it's like you start seeing the post on Facebook. They start sharing stuff, and you're like, I didn't think you felt this way.
Look, I'm like,
You be hurt. You be like, oh, really?
Like, dang, you felt this way the whole time. Like you say, by all means, people gonna have their political views, and that's cool. I'm not knocking nobody's political views.
Right.
At all. Do you?
Mm-hmm.
We just won't discuss it as a friendship. That's something we would not endeavor into, because you may say something that rubs me the wrong way, and I may say something that rubs you the wrong way, and that's not gonna go good. So we're gonna love each other the way we've been doing it, without politics involved, and move forward.
Right. Okay.
Yes.
That's a nice little tangent, y'all. All right, so back to chapter 3. Are we finished with chapter 3, or do we need any final notes for chapter 3?
That's pretty much what I'll have in chapter 3. Him meeting the girls, seeing his white friends out there.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I'm shocked.
Is chapter 3 where the grandmother gave him that silent treatment?
Yes, she was angry because she did not want him doing that. She didn't want him sitting in. She didn't want him on the buses doing the bus protest. She didn't want none of that going on. He did it anyway.
Yeah.
I think it's funny.
You think it's
funny? What you say, Miss Cece?
She had him on silent treatment for like a week. Like it was no.
It's torture.
But it was only because he was worried about it. It was for his safety. She knows from experience how bad that can get. So she's worried about him getting killed or lynched or all kind of stuff.
Right.
And thank God that didn't happen to him, but that was her worry, which as a parent I completely understand. I wouldn't want my kid doing it. Especially if I've done it before and I know how bad it can get. And knowing grandma, she done seen some horrible things happen to friends of hers because of protesting. So she didn't want her baby in that.
Right.
So she was mad. At least she didn't whoop him.
She probably felt like it was her duty to protect him because the parents, are not in his life. So it's like, okay, I have to keep you locked in everywhere I go. You come with me. And it's like he got a little rebellious and he was like, all right, I'm going anyway.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
I guess I found it funny that she gave him the silent treatment. I guess I feel like in some households, you would have got to beat down or something. And I guess, I'm not a parent, but I understand that you do want to protect your baby from any and every harm.
Mm.
But I guess I just feel like my parents, I probably would have got beat down.
Girl,
no, I wasn't there. It was somebody else.
I think the reason why she didn't is because she knew what kind of kid she was dealing with.
Mm.
She knew she was different. She was special. She didn't want to beat that out of him and take who he was away from him and do anything for his self-esteem. He already dealt with a lot with being smart and being bullied. So she don't want to do anything to add to things that he'd already gone through.
Mm-hmm.
So I think her best, like if I had a kid like that, which I kind of do, my son, I would refrain from spanking him growing up because I knew he was different or he was special. He had a different kind of mind. He thinks different than everybody else. He was a nerd. He wears glasses. He wears his pants too high. All of that. You did. I'm sorry, baby. You did. But
don't do the baby like that now.
I thought about it. But because I knew he was special, his teachers knew he was special. His discipline was dealt in a different way. Like I fussed at him before I put my hands on it. It would take a lot for me to spank him because I know, for one, he doesn't hardly do anything wrong.
Right.
Respectable kid. Half the time I gotta look up words he says. I'm like, where'd you find that word? Where'd you say? I gotta make sure you weren't cussing it out because you use words I don't.
You're saying one of them big words. Mom, I'm just flabbergasted at you.
Yes, I'm flabbergasted.
What in the flabbergasted? Spell it. Spell it.
Right. So it's like, at 4 years old saying, unfortunately, I could not clean my room due to what? Did you clean it not?
Oh. Where were you when you learned that word?
Right. But because I knew I'm dealing with a different kind of kid, I can't discipline him the way I would do my daughter, who she got that mouth.
Mm-hmm.
Different breed. They're completely different. I can't do them the same. Because if I was to spank him a lot or all the time, every time he did something wrong, I feel like it would break him. It would break who he is, and and break the man that he's molding into be. He's not the kind of kid that he doesn't like violence. He's not confrontational. He uses his mind to solve everything instead of what most of us do. We wish somebody would. We ready for you. Okay. That's how my daughter is. She wish it would.
Okay.
He not like that. He try to talk his out in words the other child can't even understand. That's him. So I can't be spanking and beating on him because that will break who he is in my mind. So I think that the granny handled it that way because she knew I cannot handle him the way I handled his father growing up. I can't do those things because this is a special kind of child, and I don't want to take anything away from him that he's got building in him right now by me being physical with him unnecessarily.
Right.
And I believe that's why she did it that way. You can't handle everybody the same way. You just can't. And that goes with adults. You can't handle everybody the same way. I can't talk to certain people the way I talk to other people. Because they're going to be like, oh, my God, are you mad at me? No.
Right.
I mean, her talk, It's different. You just can't do it. So I was glad she gave him the silent treatment because whooping him would not have done him any benefit whatsoever. And there's nothing he would have learned from it except pain.
Right. And he was, like you said, he's such a special kid. He probably would have took that and analyzed it and just kind of, compartmentalize his emotions, and probably would have been a whole situation mentally for him, So I agree. I think, like you said, I think he's a special kid, and his granny had to handle him differently. He don't get in trouble like that. He don't get in trouble like that. So granny ain't gonna just weigh him out, and it's like you're not like that. Let me just not talk to you for a little bit. You be all right.
Just for a minute.
Girl, that's how she be working, Chad.
It's been me.
Right.
Oh, my mom would have whooped me out because she already know. I'm different. I ain't like him. I need a whooping. That would solve the problem for me. Be getting a whooping.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
I ain't like.
Oh gosh. What is this the chapter that he got like a chance to go to that? He first found out about going to that school.
I think that's chapter 4.
That's chapter 4. So
am I getting ahead of myself?
Hey, if we got the 5 posts, we done. Let's move on. Chapter 4. Yes, he finds out about Nickel. That teacher.
I wasn't talking about that school. I was talking about the smart school.
Oh yeah, you're right. The smart school.
Yeah.
He found that out by his teacher. That was still in chapter 4 though.
Oh
wait, didn't we meet the teacher in chapter 3? Didn't he see him?
I don't know.
He saw him at the rally, right?
Yeah, he saw him at the rally, and then I guess it was summer, and his teacher came and found him at his job and was telling him about these free classes and attending the
free
school.
Classes at the school, college credit. I said, okay. Yeah. Okay, so right on in chapter 4. Go ahead, Tiff. We right on in there.
All right. I was just gonna say that. That's all. Carry on. This is the chapter when like things took a turn, though.
Chapter 4. Yeah. Chapter 4 took a turn.
Yes, it did.
Was like school. He hitchhiking to school. He trying to get his education, and then he hops in the wrong car.
The wrong car. I'm like, what?
Down with
it took me a while to realize he got arrested. I was like,
me too.
Wait, he got arrested? I was listening like
they slid that in like it was nothing.
Like it was nothing. I said, wait.
I guess maybe it was kind of like it was a given that he got arrested.
Well, because I know it was he kind of did hint at it because he said that he was in the backseat with the handcuffs. I said, okay, why Elwood in handcuffs? Then I kept going, and they talking about he was arrested. I was like, he got arrested?
Yeah.
It took me a minute.
It's crazy though, because they're like, for still in a car, and his lawyer was like, well, going to this school is better than going to jail. But I'm like, he didn't do anything.
No, he didn't do anything, but I guess we can't really be surprised in those times. Yeah, you going down. They supposed to believe your word and the word of a criminal.
Girl,
it's not going down like that.
That's how it is now.
We don't care. If you stole the car. It's you.
That's a fair point. Yeah.
I mean, you in here, you stole it, so yeah.
You had something to do with it.
You had something to do with it. Like, I mean, that's how it is now, unfortunately.
Was a kid. Like back then, they didn't care that you was a kid. At all. They just know you were a black kid in a car that you should not have been in. Period.
It's crazy. Is this guy who's, I forget the guy's name, whose car it was. Well, but he seemed like he was a nice dude. He's like, well, where you going?
That was something that pissed me off, though. What? How you gonna pick up somebody and you done stole the car?
And it's not even your ride to give. Like, I don't understand it.
Like, don't involve me.
Girl,
don't involve me.
Why are you picking up kids in a stolen car?
Okay. Elwood was y'all gotta agree with me. Elwood was the perfect person to get in that car. Innocent black kids.
Crime stuff right there.
Right.
That's what that is.
That's like
any crime right there.
Any crime.
What you say, Keiyana? Like, it's one of those moments you said he got played. Is that what you've been saying this whole time?
Yeah. He got played. He just keep taking L's. He just took L's in 4 chapters.
In this situation, I can honestly see like
this L.
Right. Hey Jess, I'm sorry, go ahead.
I just think I can honestly see him like being naive back into it. Because when you hitchhiking rides back then, you're more comfortable getting in the car with somebody black versus somebody white.
That's true. Yeah.
So it would, I mean, you're not thinking that you're going to find yourself in some kind of trouble like that.
That's true. But still, I just still feel like he was the perfect kid. I just still feel like he was innocent. And it's like,
you know what? It took me to church. I was like, this baby's finna get a breakthrough out this world. All this stuff he's going through. Oh, he's coming. Because this is just ridiculous. Okay?
Come on.
But she was like, Jesus is coming, Lord. It's coming. The breakthrough is
coming, Lord. It's gotta be.
This is a storm.
Every storm that you could think of. Okay? Have me humming.
Girl.
Me humming. I can bear while I'm reading.
Man.
Baby. He is going through fire.
Yes, girl, I just felt like he kept taking L's. I'm like,
no.
Ellen, what are you doing? Look, the 4th L in the 4th chapter.
Honey, and coming from a person that went past chapter 4.
Okay.
Don't give it away.
Don't give it away. Look, that's for the next episode. So we could be on time with the next episode, but you give it away.
Let's talk about the journey to get to Nickel. Why was it such a long journey though? I feel like they said 275 miles or something like that.
Yeah.
That's a 3-hour drive.
I'm like, okay. So we traveling to get to this Nickel school. Okay. We get there, and then it's the end of the day by the time the boys arrive. Because he came with 2 boys.
Wait a minute, sis. What took him so long? The colored boy was supposed to be the last boy picked up to go to the school.
Oh,
but
that's right.
By accident. So the guy was arguing with the jail people for a good hour and a half just about that issue alone. They argued for like an hour or 2.
One old boy was like, "Oh, I was just following the alphabetical order or something." I'm like,
"Yeah."
But he was supposed to be last.
Let's pick up the colored boy last, and you pick up the white boys first. So he did the opposite. And with him doing the opposite, he went from this side of town to that side of town to this side of
Wasting
town
more time
to pick up the boys, because Elwood got to stay home for 2 days before it was time for him to go. He got to stay home. So the other boys, I'm assuming, were the same. So since he messed up the order, they were supposed to pick him up and then argue with the lady about it for 2 hours. That delayed it in the first place. That's what made it take so long.
You sure right.
That show was. I forgot about that part. That's
Yeah, I was
insane.
like, yeah.
Anyways, he gets here and then he meets we see the atmosphere that he's in now.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know about y'all, but I'm like, oh my gosh, poor Elwood. How he gonna survive this? I mean, he'll survive, but dang.
I done wrote it down. What that man say? They got 4 groups: the Grubs, the Explorers,
and
the Pioneers is number 3, and the Aces. I said, poor Elwood. He ain't gonna make it, Lord.
Right. You start off as
El. Already know El was gold to make it to that top one. You know, that's just how he is.
Right.
Just like he's smart enough to surprise all the other people in his town. I don't see why he would do any different in this place. Besides, him being around more kids probably bully him. That'd be the only setback.
I thought those were the age group. Sorry, go ahead, Jess.
No, I'm sorry. I think the book presented a deceptive picture of the possibilities that was available, such as like with Elwood in his mindset, let me hurry up and try to make A's. But I don't think that you really don't know how hard it is to make A's. If you really are going to make A's, I mean, it was so deceptive. I guess.
Well, just keep reading. Trust me. Keep reading.
Keep reading.
Sneak peek.
And then they say something about disappearing and act up or something. I was like, what happened? What's happened to them? Where they going?
Keep reading.
We don't see them no more. We don't see them no more. Where they going?
Keep reading.
Y'all like keep reading. I'm gonna start reading.
I'm like, let me go and get my book to get chapter 5.
Let me find out.
Yeah, after chapter 4, it really picks up.
Oh man.
Yeah, it really does.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. It took a little while to kind of get it going. I was like, oh snap! Chapter 4, he got arrested. It was about to go down. I was waiting. I was like, something gonna flip with Elwood. Like, something gonna. All right, so I know two of y'all done read past chapter 4, but I think we should give our predictions for the next couple chapters.
What you mean?
What you think may happen? Even though I know y'all read it.
I already know.
Okay,
I went with Cece. I already know.
Tiff, what you think?
Listen.
What you think is gonna happen in chapter 5 and further on? What you think is gonna happen?
Some stuff is about to go down. Okay. Elwood is gonna find himself in some compromising situations. Okay. And he's gonna try to figure out how to get himself out of those situations. He's gonna try to be the nice guy, and I don't think that's gonna work. And then he's gonna turn into something else. That's what I think. I don't know.
You had me there for a minute. You had me there.
You know when you get so fed up, and then you just kind of switch from where you were, and you kind of you're like, you know what, forget about this. I'm not being nice no more. Maybe Elwood, like, forget this. You know, I'm tired of being bullied. Maybe he's gonna get bullied or something. I don't know. You said predictions. I'm giving you the predictions.
Exactly. I said prediction. Besides these two that read it already.
What you think, Keiyana? What's your prediction?
Sure. You know what? I'm kind of feeling your prediction. I was thinking in the back of my mind. I was like, I think Elwood, he's gonna surprise us. I think he's about to get real grimy in these next couple chapters. Like, I think the switch gone.
Y'all can't be making faces like that, Cece. That's not. No, you can't.
Cece, why is she drinking the wine? Like, ooh, let me suck this down. No, but I really do. I think, like you said, I think Elwood's gonna get tired of getting bullied. If he gets bullied in his next couple chapters, I feel like it may happen, may not. I feel like he's gonna get tired. I feel like he's gonna take that stance because, you know, in chapter 3, we saw him take that stance. He liked that feeling. I think he ain't gonna take no more BS. I just think he's gonna be with it.
I think that's what we hope. We hope that he like stands up. It's like,
I hope he stands up for himself because, baby, he got that little taste in that march or that rally. Mm-hmm. He got a little taste of it. He was like, oh, I like this. I think that's what happened.
And then, too, we also saw, going back for a flashback of chapter 4, mm-hmm. like Elwood's breaking down. Like, he's crying, you know?
Yeah.
At the end of the night, he's like, what the crap? Mm-hmm. But he knows that he can't show that emotion. You know what I mean?
Right.
So he's trying to hide his feelings. But I think that also plays into the future because all that pent up energy, emotion.
Don't walk on it.
Kind of blow off like a steam pot. You know what I mean?
I think something gonna happen. Somebody gonna take his girlfriend. Like, I don't know. Something gonna happen. He's gonna get a girlfriend. She gonna break his heart. Something is gonna happen, and Elwood is gonna flip the switch, and he about to get grimy. I don't know.
Well, we'll find out.
It's a lot of foreshadowing in the previous chapters. It's a lot of foreshadowing.
Come through, college educator. Come through.
Don't, ma'am, please. It's just a lot of foreshadowing. How you, like you said, how you see him taking a stand on a lot of stuff. Right, You're going to see a lot of things go down, and to the point of where it's. Are you going to continue to stand in the face of opposition?
Mm. Ooh, you was like, don't say nothing, Cece. See, I may not have used foreshadow, but I was gonna say it, you know. But that's all right. What she said, okay?
Okay.
What she said.
All right.
Just what she said. Because Jaz, you down here on my screen, so what she said.
She down there. What she said. We like the little.
And then tip over here. So what Tip said?
What she said?
She can't.
Other way.
And Cece, this way. So Cece, what she said.
Yeah, Keiyana's diagonal.
Hey, diagonal girl. Hey. Right, so final thoughts. We done read 4 chapters. What y'all think so far? Y'all loving it? Y'all are ready to continue on besides the 2 that have continued. But
it was slow at first. I was like, where is this going? Like, what is happening? And I just wanted to get there. So once we're here, we've arrived, and I think we're going to see some interesting things happening ahead.
What did y'all think about that prologue, though?
Mm. That prologue was scary.
How they found out about it?
I was like, oh.
I just popped right into the book. I did not read the prologue. I should have read it, but I didn't. But now I'm so far in the book, it's like, why go back? No, it's scary.
Just turn to the front of the book. And
just read it, because the prologue, I thought, to me, it was like a fast start. Like, you thought you was really about to just dive into some stuff, but then chapter 1 through 4 slows it all the way down.
Right.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Right.
Yeah. Well, 5, 6, and 7, it's lit. Okay?
Yeah. You're not lying about that.
See, that's what
I'm trying to find out.
That's what I was feeling. I'm like, okay, I put this book out there. I was like, all right. I read the synopsis or whatever, so I was like, all right, cool. Let's get into it. Then I'm like, dang, chapter 1 was slow. 2 was slow. I'm like, did I pick a good book? It's like, man, what?
That list of good books to read, so apparently everybody else liked it. So
that's why I said it was one of the top books of last year, and I was like, let's see what this book is about. The fact that Nickel was a real place, I was like,
okay. That's even worse. That just.
Yeah, I'm gonna look that up, because when y'all told me it was a real place, I was like, I gotta look this up.
Yeah.
I told John, John Pledger from our church.
Uh-huh.
Well, I told him about the book because the youth leaders have a Bible study meeting today at 4, and I told him I wasn't gonna be able to be here because I had this podcast for a book club. He was like, well, what book are y'all reading? So I told him, he was like, I gotta check it out. I said, yeah, you should. It's a good book. Now he don't start reading it.
Great. Hey, he can be like our little guest star or something.
Girl, because
He crazy. He is crazy.
He's hilarious.
He's hilarious and he's cray.
He cray in Jesus' name, but he cray.
Yes, cray in Jesus' name. But yeah, so yeah, I'm just excited. You know, I'm excited to keep reading. We had a great discussion, guys. Mm-hmm. So excited.
We need an outro, by the way, like before you get done, so I can thank you for reading, etc. So I can stop this recording.
Okay. You want to end it? Keiyana, you want to end it with swords in mind?
Okay.
Don't do that.
So, all right, you guys. So, thank you for listening and watching Read and Wine Podcast. A new episode is dropping every Wednesday. And I guess our book for May is Nickel Boys, written by Colson Whitehead. You guys like, share, subscribe, follow us on Facebook, Instagram at RW Podcast. And that's it. Follow us right now.
Pew, pew, pew. Oh, yes.
Girl, my drink is gone.